Perloff, I like this. A guy comes out and basically says it's been paralysis by analysis. There's too much information that I'm being given by the coaches. I can't process it, and it's made me a robot, and I'm not playing like myself.
What kind of idiot quarterback is honest in a press conference? Don't you know the Tom Brady rule is 90% lies? And why would you praise him for being honest? That's the one place, sitting in front of the media at that podium, the last place you should be honest. And I like Justin Fields, but this applies to him like, why do you have to share all that? What are you doing here?
Okay, I think he has to share all of it because the team is terrible, because he's in a bad situation, and he feels like he can't rely on the skills that got him to the NFL. This is what always happens when adversity hits. You go back to what got you there, and that's what he wants to do. He wants to go back to being the person who plays on instinct, and here's why I think it will work. It can't get much worse. The Bears stink. They're awful. They are in a spiral. If the quarterback needs to feel more comfortable or play in a way that's more free, where he's not stuck in his own head, that's probably the only prayer the Bears have this year to make their season competitive.
Yeah, but the great quarterbacks never insult people, anyone but themselves. I mean, Tom Brady famously, it's all on me, it's all on me, it's all on me. Can you imagine Jalen Hurts doing this? Jalen Hurts, coach's son, Jalen Hurts. There's no way in 1,000 years he would get in front of a microphone and say the coaching staff is doing something wrong. Patrick Mahomes, I don't think he's ever even said anything slightly critical about an assistant or a head coach. The winners just bring it all on themselves 100% of the time.
Okay, let's hear a little bit from Justin Fields. Manny, can I first have cut 3, please, which is Justin Fields. First, let's see what he saw in his Week 2 performance against the Bucs.
I saw a few plays on Sunday to where I was playing like my old self. Like, we would have had a positive play. Like, there would have been, a few more third down conversions. So I think that's the biggest thing for me is just, playing the game how, I know how to play it, how I've been playing it my whole life. So that's what I got to get back to doing.
Okay, so he felt like there were plays on the field where they could have extended the drives if only he had been playing like his old self. But instead, he's so stuck in his head, he wasn't able to do that. So he was asked, why was he playing so robotic?
Could be, coaching, I think. But, at the end of the day, they're doing their job when they're giving me, what to look at and stuff like that. But at the end of the day, I, can't be thinking about that when the game comes. I prepare myself throughout the week, and then when the game comes, it's time to play free at that point. So thinking less and, playing more.
Okay, the coaches are doing their jobs. They're trying to tell him what to look for. But here's the thing. It's not getting through, or it's not working for your quarterback. So rather than just keep inundating him with this information that on game day is leading to negative plays and bad football, why not adjust to what the strength is of the quarterback? That's modern football always.
Well, what's his strength?
I think he thinks his strength is playing more on instinct.
No, we know what his strength is.
Running the ball, sorry.
Running the ball, right. He ran the ball like crazy last year. Was on pace to set the NFL record for running. How many games did they win? 2. Where did they draft? Number 1 overall.
Well, could have if they didn't trade the pick, yeah.
Yeah. They were the worst team in the league with him running. So he was obviously playing on instinct last year. I don't know why he's saying any of this. Just say it behind closed doors. That's what really you should do. But the other thing, too, is running didn't work either. Okay. I agree, by the way. Luke Getsy, who was a West Coast coach at Green Bay, it doesn't seem like a great fit. I mean, Shane Steichen, who coached Jalen Hurts in Philadelphia, seems like a great fit.
Right.
Obviously, they haven't figured out a mobile quarterback, but none of this has to be worked out in front of the press. And the other thing, too, is you said they can't get any worse. I don't see how this makes it better. What's he going to start running more?
Well, I don't know if it's going to make it better. Listen, they've got the Chiefs this weekend, so, good luck with all that.
Right.
That's going to be a tough assignment, no matter if everyone's clicking on the same page or not. But, I think he's trying to give a little context for why it has looked so bad through the first 2 games.
Why is he? That's not his job. He's just, all he should focus on is how we can make it better. And he could say that, though. He could say that without throwing the coaches under the bus a little bit here.
Well, I think he's throwing himself and the coaches, right? Yeah. I think he's saying that he's obviously not doing what they want him to do, or he's not processing the information that they want him to download. And also, they're shoving too much and putting too much on his plate. He did say that the coaches have been receptive to what he said and that he's expressed this to them, but he would not elaborate on whether it's too much information during the week or is it too much information on game day in the moment that's really causing him to play like a robot.
I hate saying this because I'm in the media, but that should be behind closed doors. Whatever the communication is, and if it doesn't work out, first of all, everyone there is getting fired anyway. And there's so many problems with this team that go way beyond Justin Fields.
Sure.
Look at the new GM, Ryan Poles. He traded a second-round pick for Chase Claypool, the wide receiver, who actually had a nice touchdown last week, but it's been one of the big busts in NFL. There are all these clips of him sort of wandering lazily around the field. He passed on Jalen Carter in this year's draft, which is going to haunt them forever. I just think that this whole team sort of has a loser energy, and this does not help. And that sounds really harsh, but this is what the kind of thing bad teams do.
Okay.
This doesn't feel like a rallying point to turn into a good team to me.
Okay, well, first of all, that remains to be seen. I don't know if they're a good team, if anything could save them. To your point, there's been so many failures, and the roster's just not that good. But here's what I'm wondering about for Fields. Is he trying to maybe give himself a shot? You just said it. Whole coaching staff's probably getting fired this year.
Yeah,
right?
I mean, they seem like they're headed that way.
The NFL is just, there's no patience. It's very rare that you would get another shot here for this coaching staff. So I think he wants to say, hey, I got to put stuff on film here where I want to still have a career. These guys are all going to get fired. They're all going to get other jobs as coaches. I want to still keep playing quarterback. So maybe he feels like he has to get his side of the story out. I don't know.
That would just stink, though, because I hear I, me.
Well, he's like a quarterback.
Yeah, quarterbacks are the number one we position. It should be we. Yeah, he can't be. First of all, I don't really necessarily think I think subconsciously, yes, that's probably what he's trying to do.
Yeah.
But I hope that he's not saying all right, well, they're going down. I better save my butt by showing that I can make a lot more plays here. He actually did really kind of insult the play calling a little bit. It wasn't just too much information. So we'll see what happens.
He insulted it. So this was from last week, or from Sunday, rather. Yeah. This was from Sunday on that pick 6 against the Bucs. He kind of walked everyone through the thought process.
And that situation is tough because, if you call it deeper pass, you don't want to drive back in the end zone and potential to take a safety. So, I think that's a tough spot regarding play calls, for Luke in that position. So, he went with his gut and, number 7 ended up making a good play. So, hey, it is what it is.
Yeah, I mean, is that throwing the play caller under the bus? I think it's just explaining it. I mean, he seems sympathetic. He's like, he's got a tough job. That's a tough call to make in the moment on what the play should be.
That play cost me the over-under in that game, so I'm upset about it.
It's all about you.
But, yeah, again, he should have just said, I screwed up that play, because he did screw up that play. He threw the ball to a guy who was 4 feet in front of him. I'm sorry, I'm confused because Shaq Barrett is wearing number 7. It's still bizarre.
I know, I don't
so
like
bizarre. I'm like, who was that? Levante David with the pick? Anyway, I don't really love this from Fields. He's such an interesting player. He's got 2 things working against him.
What's that?
The Ohio State thing. Where people thought maybe he was a product of that system. And Ohio State quarterbacks are 0-9 through 2 weeks of 0-6 through 2 weeks of the season. Like Burrow's lost 2, C.J. Stroud has lost 2.
Burrow's not an Ohio State quarterback.
Oh, anyway,
he's an LSU quarterback.
That's true. But I saw this stat. Yes. Anyway, but the other thing, and this has nothing to do with Ohio State, Justin Fields, Luke Getsy. That position on that team is cursed. We know nobody can play quarterback for the Bears. You and I were talking pre-show. Well, what if they're really bad and they have a top 5 pick? Is anyone going to want to go play football there? Is Caleb Williams from USC going to want to go to cold weather Chicago and play quarterback? It's been a very tough spot historically. They haven't been able to solve this in 4 decades, Maggie. And I wonder, is it possible that a position and a team can be cursed?
Well, if there is one, it's probably this. I mean, there's a couple other franchises. I'd say the Jets could also claim a quarterback curse if they would want to. But I wonder if they do end up with a top 5 pick, and don't forget they've got their pick and they've got the Panthers pick. So if they have a top 5 pick, which could be trending that way, they might have 2. They're definitely going to take a quarterback.
And probably a new coaching staff will take a quarterback.
Right. So if I'm Fields, I probably want to go a little YOLO on this thing. Not throwing anyone under the bus, but that's you only live once, which is I need to play like myself because I feel like my career is flashing before my eyes. And just because you get drafted into a bad situation like Justin Fields did, doesn't mean it should he probably doesn't want it to define the rest of his career. I think this is him taking a stand here and also being honest. Paralysis by analysis. There's too much going on. I'm getting fed too much information or the wrong type of information, and it's messing me up.